Getting pre-qualified for a loan is an important part of the pre-approval and getting a house process. There are a lot of mortgage lenders out there that can get you pre-qualified, but I like to kind of go through the start of the pre-qualification process and get you ready to take that next step. The best thing I can tell you is to get all your documents in order. So get usually 2 years of W-2s, a couple months of bank statements. What a lender is going to want to see is anything kind of going in as income and anything going out as expenses. By doing that, they kind of get an idea of what you can afford a month. The other thing is you want to make sure you run the numbers, and I can definitely help with this, but you want to run the numbers and make sure that the house you're buying is going to be within your monthly budget. I'm kind of big on budgets, making sure before we even get pre-qualified, before we even kind of go through the process, we want to make sure you can monthly or have the cash on hand to buy a house and be successful with it. Houses should always be a blessing, not a curse. And by knowing exactly what your monthly numbers should be, that's the best way we can help you get prepared. Once you kind of have an idea of what you want to spend a month, then you actually can go through the pre-approval process. I would recommend reaching out to a couple different lenders and having them run numbers for you and seeing if you're going to be a good fit. If your credit's relatively good, that's a good place to start. But if you need help with credit, that's also a good reason to reach out to a lender and kind of get a plan in place. A lot of times the lenders are pretty savvy. They can look at your income, assets, and credit and say, okay, well, yeah, you should be good to go. Here's your max amount you can spend. Or on the other side, say, you know what, you're close, but I would have you pay this down or pay this off and give you a good plan on what you need to get in place. Then say, okay, if you do everything on the plan, you should be good in 3 months or 6 months. So it's really important to get that plan going. That's why I also suggest kind of putting all the documents that I have in the list in a packet for the lender, that we can kind of shop around with lenders. The one thing I would tell you not to do is whenever you have your lender pull a credit pull, you have opened something called a mortgage window. So if you have the first lender pull your credit, you have a 30-day window that however many other lenders can pull your credit, and it's not going to affect your credit. If after that day 31 through day 45, you have another lender pull after you've opened that window, then it's actually going to be a soft pull on your credit and it could drop your score. If you have more mortgage lenders pull after day 45 on, that actually is going to be a hard pull and that can drop your score. So the most important thing is to kind of get all the information together. Then when you have your first lender pull your credit, you need to do all your shopping for lenders within that 30-day period. I have seen people not know that and they pull their credit once for a mortgage and then they wait a little bit and they pull it again. And then they wait a little bit longer and they pull it again. And then they've actually hurt their credit score for kind of a not great reason. And then they're struggling to bring their credit up to buy a house. It is really good to get your credit kind of optimized before you buy because that will help you with interest rate and expenses.